There are moments in life that don't arrive through effort or control. They come through surrender. Quietly, suddenly, they rise from the silence we've carried for too long. Scorpio, you are entering one of those rare thresholds where life stops echoing the past and begins to whisper something new. This isn't just another season, it's a shift written in the invisible currents of your soul. Something you can't quite explain, but you feel it pressing at the edges of your awareness. This is not about luck or coincidence. It's about divine timing. The universe is not asking you to try harder. It is asking you to get still, to make space, to allow what's been waiting behind the scenes to finally move forward. You have been tested through heartbreak, delays, deep inner questions, and still you've kept walking. Not perfectly, but honestly. And that matters more than you know. Now there is something being given to you, not earned through performance or planning, but granted through alignment. A quiet yes from the forces that have been watching you grow through pain. This isn't just about money or relationships or a job offer. It's about something deeper, a reset of your entire life rhythm. And though you may not see it clearly yet, the tide has already started to turn. The old weight is lifting. The right people are being drawn toward you. The path is being cleared. This is your moment to listen, not to the noise, but to the knowing that lives underneath it. You don't have to rush. You just have to stay open. Life is about to meet you in a way it never has before. As we move into mid-July, the planetary alignments begin to touch something essential within you, Scorpio, something you've long protected in silence. On July 12th, the sun in Cancer continues to highlight your ninth house of long-distance vision, truth-seeking, and spiritual expansion. At the same time, Pluto, your modern ruler, sits in retrograde, pressing on the deepest layers of your chart and urging you to examine what kind of life you truly believe you deserve. The energy of money and abundance is not arriving like a windfall falling from nowhere. It is being built slowly in the background by every boundary you've drawn, every old tie you've released, and every version of yourself you let go of in the name of something more honest. You're no longer pretending that survival is enough. Now you want to live well, not just financially, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually whole. Venus and Jupiter are both weaving supportive aspects around this time that influence your second and eighth houses, the sectors of earned income and shared resources. This is a potent window for financial flow, especially through things you've worked for behind the scenes or investments that are just beginning to bear fruit. It may come from a business that once felt stagnant, a family asset long forgotten, or a professional relationship that now turns into a major opportunity. What matters is that this wave of abundance is not temporary. It is a direct reflection of the inner work you've done to clear space, to stop sabotaging your own worth, and to let go of the identity that once equated effort with suffering. This prosperity isn't about winning, it's about aligning. And just as the outer gains begin to show, something quieter and even more valuable begins to stir within you. With Neptune slowly moving through your fifth house and the moon waxing toward fullness, a soft, spiritual clarity begins to arrive, not in loud revelations, but in a steady return to what feels real. The drive for recognition fades. The hunger for more begins to evolve into a longing for peace, for meaningful use of your time, for intimacy without performance. You begin to see that wealth without alignment is hollow, and success without spiritual fulfillment leaves you restless. But when you find yourself doing the work you love, sharing with those you trust, resting without guilt, and waking with a quiet kind of purpose, you realize this is the actual luxury. And this is a time where the external world is starting to mirror your internal upgrades. The more you respect your energy, the more it multiplies. The more you claim your value without needing to prove it, the more the right people and resources respond. This isn't magic, this is consequence. The world is responding to the vibration you've fought hard to sustain. So when the money comes, don't be surprised. When the call comes, don't shrink. When the door opens, walk through it without explaining your worth. Scorpio, your transformation is no longer something happening in private. It's becoming structural. And true wealth is just one of the languages your soul is using to speak freedom into your life. Let it speak. Not everyone will celebrate what you're stepping into, Scorpio. And that's not paranoia, it's wisdom. As your energy becomes clearer, stronger, and more magnetic, you will inevitably attract both admiration and quiet resistance. This is the nature of spiritual and material elevation. It reveals more than it hides. Around this time, you may notice subtle shifts, people who once clung to your presence growing distant without explanation, Conversations that once flowed now feeling awkward or heavy, or sudden feelings of tiredness after interacting with certain individuals. These are not coincidences. These are energetic cues. You are being guided to preserve your momentum by protecting your space, not out of fear, but out of self-respect. Keep your plans to yourself until they take form. Share your breakthroughs only with those who have proven they can hold your joy without shrinking in its presence. The universe is refining your circle, not punishing you. Let it. Your intuition is already picking up on what no one says out loud. Trust it. If you feel drained around someone, take that seriously. If you sense envy behind the compliments, don't talk yourself out of what you know. This is not the time to give endless second chances to energy that has already shown you its instability. Instead, redirect that care toward building something stable, warm, and worthy, especially in the realm of love. With Jupiter's expansive influence touching your relationship sector and Mars intensifying your personal magnetism, the conditions are fertile for connection, but only the kind that respects your depth. If you're single, the next chapter doesn't require you to chase or perform. It begins with someone who sees through your defenses and meets your intensity with steadiness, not chaos. There is a sense of predestined timing at play here, but even destiny needs your permission to unfold. So be open, but remain discerning. You'll know the difference between a lesson and a partner by the peace you feel around them. If you're already in a relationship, this is a powerful time to rebuild trust and intimacy, not through dramatic gestures, but through the daily choice to be honest, present, and emotionally available. Conversations may go deeper than usual. Unspoken needs may finally come to light. And if both of you are willing, what you have can evolve into something much more grounded than what it began as. This is also a time when family patterns, especially inherited ones, start to lose their grip. You're no longer here to carry the emotional weight of generations. You're here to break cycles. Whether it's the way love was given conditionally or how emotions were avoided through silence, you now have the awareness to choose differently. Your healing becomes a quiet revolution, one that reshapes how future generations will define connection, safety, and love. What's coming is not loud. It's not performative. It's not built on fleeting attraction or shared wounds. What's coming is stable, intuitive, grounded in mutual growth. And whether it begins with a new person or a new chapter in a current relationship, it begins when you no longer abandon yourself to make love last. Your body has been carrying more than physical tension, Scorpio. It's been holding the emotional echoes of old fears, unspoken grief, and the silent burden of being strong for too long. As the energy around you begins to change, so does the dialogue between your soul and your body. This is not a coincidence. It is a recalibration. What you've endured emotionally is now asking to be released physically. You may find yourself suddenly needing more rest than usual, craving solitude, or feeling unexpected waves of emotion arise out of nowhere. This isn't regression, it's restoration. Your nervous system is learning that safety no longer means silence, and survival no longer means pushing through. Allow your body to feel safe in slowness. Let tiredness be a message, not a flaw. The alignment that's arriving in your outer world needs a vessel that can receive it, and that vessel is your body. Pay attention to your breath. Lately, you may have been unconsciously holding it in moments of stress or overstimulation. That's your signal that there is still tension underneath the surface. Stretch, walk, place your hands over your heart without rushing to fix anything. Begin to notice which people, environments, and habits make your body soften and which ones make it brace itself. Your health is not just a checklist of routines. It is a reflection of how deeply you allow yourself to be honest about what hurts and what heals. And Scorpio, healing doesn't always look like green juices and gym memberships. Sometimes it looks like crying without guilt. Sometimes it looks like saying no without apology. Sometimes it's as simple as sleeping in on a Tuesday and not punishing yourself for it. And emotionally, you are shedding the last pieces of an identity built around endurance. For so long, you've measured your value by how much you could carry without breaking. But true power, real emotional balance, is not about how well you suppress your pain. It's about how gently you allow yourself to meet it. As the sun continues to move through Cancer and the moon travels toward your psychological sector, it's a powerful time to unlearn emotional habits rooted in hyperindependence. You're allowed to ask for help. You're allowed to need softness. And above all, you're allowed to feel safe in joy, not just in survival. You are entering a new relationship with your body and mind, one that doesn't demand perfection but prioritizes awareness. And the more you tend to this inner space, the more clearly you'll be able to discern what's worth your energy and what quietly depletes it. Your health isn't just your responsibility now. It's your foundation for everything that's coming next. Protect it, prioritize it, honor it without shame. There are places your soul has always longed to see, not just for the landscapes, but for the energy they carry. As new doors open and your external life begins to reflect the internal work you've done, travel becomes more than a luxury. It becomes a part of your soul's expansion. Whether it's a coastline that softens your heart, a mountain that reminds you how to breathe again, or a distant city that reconnects you with parts of yourself you forgot, these journeys won't just be escapes, they'll be realignments. Scorpio, the sky suggests that movement, both literal and symbolic, is coming. And when it does, it won't uproot you, it will anchor you into a deeper truth. The kind of life you once thought was out of reach, filled with comfort, choice, and beauty, will slowly begin to feel like a natural extension of your own frequency. Not something you need to hustle for, but something you are now able to hold. But even as your world expands, your purpose grows with it. You are not meant to receive abundance and keep it contained. The wealth, the clarity, the emotional safety you're cultivating, it's meant to ripple outward. Not in grand gestures, but in quiet ways, through the conversations you have, the boundaries you uphold, the example you become. Your presence begins to give other people permission to rise too. That is part of your mission now. And you don't have to preach or prove anything. You only need to live in alignment with what you know to be true, and the impact will speak for itself. There is also an energetic shift asking to be acknowledged. You may notice yourself drawn to certain rituals, symbols, or messages that seem to repeat: numbers, names, songs, dreams. This is not random. The cosmos is not just showing you what's possible, it's responding to your readiness. When you speak your intentions aloud, when you write what you want down, when you share your vision or say yes to the next opportunity, you're not just performing, you're activating something. Every moment of conscious action is a declaration that you're no longer shrinking, that you're willing to be seen, that you're here to receive. So don't dismiss the small things: commenting, journaling, showing up. They open doors in the energetic field that your logic can't explain. And finally, Scorpio, there's something deeper unfolding beneath all of this. A quiet but unmistakable feeling that you were not meant to repeat the stories of those who came before you, that you are in some way the ending of one legacy and the beginning of another. Not out of ego, but out of knowing. You are the turning point, the one who decided that survival was not enough, that healing was worth the discomfort. That peace was worth protecting. You are not chasing status. You are building a lineage of emotional, spiritual, and material integrity, the kind that will ripple through time in ways you may never fully see. And the universe is not just watching, it is recognizing you. You are not just aligned, you are chosen. So if everything around you feels quieter than usual, if certain things have gone still without warning, don't mistake that silence for absence. Something is forming beneath the surface. Something real, something permanent, not rushed, not loud, but deliberate and precise. Just like the way you've been rebuilding yourself piece by piece in the dark, this is the moment when the universe begins responding not to your effort, but to your alignment. And that is why the shift may feel subtle at first, because what's arriving is not chaos dressed as opportunity, but peace disguised as change. You've carried yourself through invisible battles, made choices that no one else understood, and learned how to protect your energy without becoming hard. And now, slowly, the life you've been quietly making space for is beginning to show up. Not through force, but through resonance. You no longer need to prove that you've done the work. You no longer need to explain why you feel different. Those who are meant to understand will feel it in your presence, and those who don't were never meant to walk this next chapter with you. The version of you that once needed validation has been laid to rest, and in its place stands someone steady, aware, and rooted in something deeper than ambition. This next phase isn't about becoming someone else. It's about finally living from the core of who you've always been, without apology and without delay. Everything you've been seeking, stability, intimacy, clarity, abundance, it's already moving toward you, not in dramatic waves, but in the quiet rhythm of things falling into place. And so you don't need to rush. You don't need to chase. You don't need to convince life that you're ready. You already are. Stay present, stay open, stay honest with yourself, because the future you once feared is no longer something far away. It is arriving now with every quiet decision you make to stay in alignment. And Scorpio, when it fully arrives, it won't feel unfamiliar. It will feel like home.